I am very excited right now because today is the day. Today is the day. Today is the day, after a long number of other days, that we are finally going to build the Mumbo Jumbo storage system. Now, when I say Mumbo Jumbo storage system, I should probably clarify, I don't mean a storage system that has been designed by Mumbo Jumbo. I actually mean a storage system designed around Mumbo Jumbo. And after finding myself very ill at the end of last episode, I have been doing a lot of planning for this. To be honest, I've been planning this even before then. In fact, this has probably been in the works for a fair few weeks now, I think. But aside from a lot of planning, I've also, in the time that I've been off ill and not recording, done a huge amount of resource gathering for this project. So we have got a lot of shulker boxes filled with a lot of interesting and rather different materials ready for this system to go in. It's also incredibly exciting because this is the first build that's going up on the surface. We're officially coming up to the surface of the base that we've been putting in for God knows how long, because up until this point, we've just been living underground in this bunker. And while I love the little bunker, the whole point of me building a build height pyramid was not just to live in a tiny little box underneath it. And if you're going to start with anything when you're building an absolutely ginormous base, then it should definitely be storage, because this storage we've got here behind me it's a bit pitiful, to be honest. It's just stacks of chests on chests and no automatic sorting. It's just very sad. Very, very sad. However, that all ends today. But before I get carried away building this thing, there's a couple of things I need to update you on that have happened in the time between now and the last video. The first isn't so much an update, but more just like something we haven't done, which is update the wall of planning. Because you see, we already have netherite gear and tools, and we also already have a ton of shulker boxes and an organised ender chest. So these signs need to come down. The next thing I wanted to show you is this rather small contraption we've got going on here behind me. You see, I took out the furnaces that were wrapped into the wall and instead have replaced them with the world's smallest automatic super smelter. It's nothing particularly interesting, it's just hoppers running fuel and items into the furnaces and then into an output chest. To be honest, I'm not even sure if you can call this thing a super smelter at all. It's just slightly more automatic than it was before. The next change is a little bit bigger than the world's tiniest super smelter, I'm pleased to say. Also, the last time I tried to record that clip, I got stuck on the door, so congratulations to me for getting through it. But yes, the next change I've made is I've set to work on making some additions to the villager trading area. It still looks incredibly boring, however we've got a lot more clerics than we had before. I've moved the librarians to here in the centre, and I finally, after the longest period of time ever, managed to get the final terracotta trades that I was missing. So we now have lime and brown, and I think it was literally just those two that we were missing, which means we can get rid of this sign as well. But that's not the only change we've made in the villager area, because we also have a lot more farmers now as well. And as you can see, they look incredibly happy to be here. They're just absolutely loving life as farmers in their new humble... Oh, hello. In their new humble abode. I mean, are these not the happiest farmers you've ever seen when playing Minecraft? Anyway, the reason I've got so many farmers is for their pumpkin and melon trades. Because as you may remember before, I have been trading the pumpkins and melons from my pumpkin and melon farm with them in order to get emeralds, and then trading the emeralds with the other various villages I've got of various trades for all the other cool stuff. However, what was once a pumpkin and melon farm is now a pumpkin and pumpkin farm. Simply because I couldn't be bothered to keep crafting up the melons. It was really annoying. And yes, I know this will dramatically reduce the yield of the farm, but it also means I never have to craft another melon again, which makes me very, very happy. It also makes Erica Janey very happy, because most of the time, she was the one doing all the crafting. And this brings me on to my next change, because not only were we having to craft all of the melons, we were also having to move them and the pumpkins from a storage system that used to sit here directly behind me to a number of chests that were stacked here next to the villager storing area, which you might have noticed has all gone. See, I've taken the time to move the storage from where it used to be actually into the same room as the villagers, because this is far more useful. And I don't have to keep shipping them from somewhere out there in the middle of the base into here to be able to do the trading. And this is all thanks to this ingenious little waterway that I put in down here, which runs the pumpkins from underneath the farms over to... Oh, didn't mean to pick that one up. There we go. down to the other end where the chests are. And that leaves just two updates to tell you about. The first of which is that I have expanded the bunker a small amount behind the double pumpkin farm. I'm not sure what we're going to put in this yet, to be honest, but we were running out of space, and as much as we're moving things up to the surface, I figured I could end up needing it for something. And the final and most important update of all is definitely this. Another huge section of the wall has been filled in, and I have to give my thanks to Turkey Twizzle for this one, because it's just looking so much more complete now. There's literally only 1, 2, and 3 sections left. 3 sections of the wall left, and the entire pyramid will be in. Also, it's the first time that I've actually had to put in, like, these little doorway holes, because otherwise I just can't even get in and out, which is proving to be, or was proving to be, a bit of a problem. But yeah, this is just looking absolutely epic. It sort of feels like with every episode I'm telling you there's another section of the wall complete, and this thing is so big that it actually looks like half of the wall's not finished over there, but it is. It's the render distance. Like, if we fly over there, you should see that it just fills itself in. There we go. See, it's done. Except for this very tiny hole for me to escape in and out of. Oh, I absolutely love this thing. Honestly, there's just a sense of how grand and large the scale of this thing is. I'm really glad I did this as a base. And that covers all of the updates, which means it's finally time to get to work on the Mumbo sorting system. And while we may have just lost a tiny bit of footage there at the end, they're in! Look at these guys! Hello, Mumbo. Hello, Mumbo. It looks great. I'm so happy with how these have turned out. Yep, it's official. The Mumbo part of the Mumbo Jumbo storage system is definitely complete. However, the storage part, that's definitely not complete. But before we get onto that, I wanted to talk about what inspired me to build a giant pair of Mumbos in the first place. See, when I was first trying to come up with ideas about what I could put inside of this giant pyramid, the first thing that came to mind was building some really cool, Egyptian statues, like statues of like the Egyptian gods, and I could place them all around the inside of the pyramid and give it like a sort of tomb-like feel. And then from there, I kind of thought to myself, well, actually, it'd be quite cool if I could make it a little bit more Minecrafty. So I thought maybe the statues could be a bit more like Minecraft players, a bit more blocky. And it was after that that the idea came to me. Instead of building the Egyptian gods, why don't I build the gods of Minecraft? Specifically, the members of Hermitcraft. I mean, they're all a bunch of fantastic Minecrafters and brilliant content creators, and to be honest, I'm a huge fan. I'm far more interested in building members of the Hermitcraft server than I am building Egyptian gods, and if that, admittedly both sound pretty cool, but I don't think that's such a bad thing. Plus, most of them are kind of known for like a specific thing in Minecraft, which I'm actually going to make pretty good use of. For example, this guy behind me is well known for his love of redstone, and he loves a good sorting system. So where else are we going to place this beautiful statue of Mumbo than in the sorting system? It just makes perfect sense. And I've already got loads of ideas for loads of the other members and how I'm going to be able to place them in the pyramid as well. That being said, I don't want to forget where this idea started. I mean, we are in a pyramid, and I did want it to be an ancient Egyptian kind of style. I wanted it to feel a bit like a tomb, and I don't want that to get lost in the translation. I still want to keep the Egyptian side of the theme. I just want to replace some of the statues out with the members of Hermitcraft. So, just to clarify, we want to include the members of Hermitcraft, what they're associated for, and also without losing the Egyptian theme. And the plan is to try and include this in as many of the builds we're going to place into this enormous space as possible. However, for now, let's get back to building the Mumbo Jumbo sorting system. And there we have it. The Mumbo Jumbo sorting system is finished. It's finally finished. After hours and hours of construction, this thing is done. And I'm so pleased with how it's turned out. The Mumbo's kneeling, holding up the floor, just looks fantastic. The sorting system, I feel like I've still managed to encapsulate the Egyptian theme and the tomb-like feel. I don't think it's been completely lost either. I'm so proud of how this has turned out, honestly. And more importantly than that, this thing will automatically sort up to 104 different items for me. 104 different items! That's just mad. Mad! And as you would expect, Mumbo is looking absolutely fantastic from every angle. I'm really, really genuinely pleased with how this has turned out. I think the only thing that I really want to change with this is, if we come back a bit further, is this outside wall. It looks quite plain, and I think it could do with either some sort of gradient or maybe some sort of, hieroglyphics to go in the side of it. Just something to sort of spice it up a bit. But other than that, I think that just about covers it. Oh, that and the fact that I want to add some sort of bin mechanism over there by the output chests so that as and when they fill up with junk, that I can get rid of it. The real shame is that these wide-angle shots, or from far away, really don't give it a sense of scale. I mean, here you can see the top of the pyramid and then the sorting system right down in the bottom, and it looks absolutely tiny. But if you want a true sense of scale of this sorting system and also my base, you have to come down to the floor level, and you'll see just how huge this is. I mean, the statues are massive. The sorting system isn't exactly small either. And if we look up, I mean, it just looks crazy, to be honest. I mean, it's even worse as well, like, if you come down to the actual statues, like the foot of one of the statues, and then start, like, looking up. I mean, this is not small. And that's even bigger. It's just, yeah. I love it. I honestly love it. To be honest, I'm not sure that the camera will ever properly be able to do it justice anyway. But regardless, I couldn't be happier with this. It has now dawned on me, however, that I also have no idea how I'm going to fill the rest of this space, because that literally barely touched the amount of space that I have to fill. But that is definitely a problem for another episode. Sadly, that is all we've got time for. If you did enjoy this video, please do give me a like or subscribe. It makes a huge difference. I'm only a small channel. Or better than that, you know, if you've got some feedback, chuck it down in the comments section. I do read it, and I actually reply to pretty much every message I get, because I have the time and can afford to with the small viewership that I've got at the minute. So, yeah. Thanks very much again for watching. Catch you another time.